is the difference between a woman that wants to be a wife versus a woman that just wants a husband?
Oh, you know what? I think most of us are bred to just want a husband, whereas to be groomed and trained to be a wife means to understand how to respect masculine energy, how to truly be inside of your feminine, which means trusting the leadership of your partner, because feminine chooses certainty. Feminine doesn't choose flow, because feminine is flow, right? Feminine energy. When we choose to understand that it is our biggest opportunity to seek out the needs of a man without him expressing them, I think a beautiful opportunity for us to empower that man and ride through the storms. I feel like we live in a weak generation where things get hard and people immediately are like, oh, I quit, this is too hard. And that's like, it's never going to hinder you the result you want. If you keep quitting, it's to be groomed as a wife means it's compassion, it's longevity. That's where marriage starts. When you get married, you say, I do, it starts. Whereas other people, it's like when you get married, I made it. No, you didn't make it. You hate that man. You hate that woman. Y'all can't stand each other. You don't care enough to not disrespect each other or call each other out of your name. You don't care enough to not want to sleep on opposite sides of the bed when there's a problem. You don't care enough to have the hard conversation so that you can move together more powerfully. That's just to have a husband. But when you want to be a wife, things are different, in my opinion.
That's very true.
Yo, this woman don't miss. She don't miss. Many women on the dating market not trying to hear this though. They want a ready-made man, priding themselves on investing in a liability. And that's where they go wrong. They want him falling from the heavens when they are nowhere near wifey material.
Heard you're single.
Yes.
Why is
I
that?
am. Because I think not all men, a lot of men right now act like women and they just want more. Bring back the patriarchy. I want to stay at home. I want to take care of my kids. What do you mean buy you flowers? What do you mean pay for dinner? What do you mean 50-50? What is that? I don't believe in that.
What do you want? What do you believe?
I want a man to take care of me.
So you want to be a housewife?
I want to be a housewife.
Okay.
Yeah.
The old
I respect
traditional
that.
way?
Traditional. I'll do it. I don't mind. I'll do it. Fuck it.
All right. Let's say you meet the guy that does all that. Like he's willing to take you in, and you basically be the woman to take care of everything.
Yeah.
Now, does he got complete control over you? Like saying like, all right, delete your Instagram. You can't be dressing all slutty out on the streets.
Here's my thing. I'm not gonna be dressing all slutty and like having Instagram. If I found the one and he give me everything I need, he didn't even have to ask me for that. I already did it.
I like this one.
You'll delete
Without
it?
him oh yeah, for sure. Without him even having to ask. I
What
already
about
did
he
it.
wants stuff every time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. 100%. 100%. If he provides for me, he's a good husband. He's loyal. Everything. He's good to our kids. What more could you ask for in a man? That's what I need. I need a provider.
Him marrying you doesn't make you the wife. Let that settle in for a second. Some of you have not yet prepared yourself to be a wife to be found. If you are saying, God, I want to be a wife, will you put in me and create in me the things that make me a wife? Some of you haven't been found yet because you haven't been a wife yet to be found. He doesn't make you a wife. You are a wife that he finds. Well, how does he find me? Because I've been waiting. I've been this or that. Did you know things can be hidden in plain sight? You ever had your glasses on your head, but like, where my glasses at? Holding your phone, like I can't find my phone. If you hide there, he has to find your father in order to find you. Him marrying you doesn't make you the wife.
I mean, what's your purpose as a woman? What's your purpose of getting married? I mean, that's ultimately what it is, right? Like, for some women, it's the finish line. They made it. They did what they set out to do.
Okay, here's the myth. You're not going to like it, but here's the myth. God is preparing a man for you. Incorrect. Biblically speaking, the Bible says that God created Eve for Adam, not Adam for Eve. I'm going to let you sit on that for a couple seconds. God created Eve for Adam, not Adam for Eve. So the one God is preparing is you. You have to understand that God prepares you as a woman to come into the life of a man, to be a helpmate, to bring value into his life, to be able to allow him and encourage him to do what God has destined for him to do. But as a woman that is unprepared, what happens is instead of allowing the man to do what God has called him to do, you make it all about you. And you want the man to make you his God.
We should develop habits that make us really good wives. One is getting up early. 2 is exercising and drinking water. 3 is learning how to cook the meals that make our families healthy. And I think women don't understand that when they send their children to school or they send them out through the day and they don't have them nutritionally balanced, that could result in the family having problems with the school. That could result with them having development problems. These are things that I believe wives are responsible for. And then here's where I may step on a few toes. I think that your home should be scheduled. I think that you should have an idea of when you do your tasks that support a happy home. For instance, every day I do 1 load of laundry and I cook 2 meals. I do general cleaning on a daily basis and I do deep cleaning once a week. Everything doesn't get deep cleaned every week. 1 week it's the bathroom, 1 week it's the kitchen with the refrigerator, another time it could be reorganizing the closets. If you can fit all of that in with a full-time job and your side gig and all of the other things that you're trying to do from a more career perspective, then great. But keep in mind that in the traditional sense, that's your primary role. And if that means that you have to eliminate your social activities in order to put those things in place outside of work, then you may want to consider doing that. And in order to have a flow with a good man, you're going to want to present that before you get married. So put your girls on the back burner, get your house in order, and let's start going down this path.
But I think the point is to be willing to learn, right? A lot of men are just cool with that. You know, it's amazing how many women believe they shouldn't have to learn. They think it's something that they can just flip the switch on. And it's like, nah, like anything else, you got to work at it. It's that willingness, right? And which is really why a woman who is hell-bent on being put on a pedestal and she's above the relationship, she's not really an option to marry.
Somebody got to say it. And I'd be the bitch to say it. Fellas, a lot of these women ain't wife material. You want to know why? I'll tell you. These bitches ain't wife material because they were not raised by a wife. They never seen their mother get loved properly by a man. They never witnessed their mother have respect and show appreciation and take care of her man. They've never seen effective communication. They've never witnessed teamwork. The only thing that they've witnessed is the sacrifice that their mother probably had to make to survive. They never witnessed any sacrifices made towards happiness, towards family, towards appreciation, towards the future. And then a lot of us are taught to protect our heart and stay guarded and don't need a man for nothing. And a lot of women carry the bitterness that their father left with their mother. But I don't know shit. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm out.
Do you think that American women are unmarriageable? Or are there certain women out there who do have the quality?
Get those safe spaces ready, because this just might hurt a few feelings. Because there's a lot of American women that will never be considered marriage material, because quite frankly, a lot of these women are just too selfish to be in any kind of long-term relationship, let alone a marriage.
Exactly.
Because the amount of time, effort, and self-sacrifice, and yes, that's by both parties in that relationship, that is required to make a marriage work, does not often occur to those individuals who often only think about how to get ahead financially or socially and tend to view relationships as strictly transactional, as a lot of American women do.
I swear.
Not to mention that a lot of these women also want to go into these relationships being treated like princesses and queens, but yet do not bring anything to the table except for their looks.
Man.
And a sense of entitlement. And yes, there are exceptions to this, of course, but by and large, that is why a lot of American women will never be considered marriage material.
What? Yeah, this one a tough one to swallow for a lot of women. I mean, yes, you have a high standard to uphold as well as women, right? If you want a guy to really fully invest in you, you got to uphold a standard and be an asset to him. Not sure why it's so hard to understand. A guy that's going to do you wrong, he don't give a damn about that. But a good dude that's looking for a long-term relationship, looking for long-term results, looking to build a family, he's going to want something back. He's going to want to build something. He's going to want a return on his investment. That's just what it is. So you must be an asset. And a big part of that is figuring out your role with him. And a lot of girls say that they wasn't taught. And I think at this point, if you're an adult, you should be seeking that information like you did when you stacked those degrees. that's really your best bet.
Any woman that doesn't appreciate a man or feel like they don't need a man, any woman that's ever uttered those words is not fit to be a wife. And if you feel like you don't need a man, when you get your man, you're going to treat your man like you don't need him without even knowing it. Whether it's subconsciously, inadvertently, or overtly, you're going to do that. And you're not fit to be a wife. So we can start there. That type of woman is not fit because, again, we need each other. A woman who doesn't understand what her role is not fit to be a wife. Your role is not to challenge your husband. Your role is not to compete with your husband. Your role is not to be an agitator or a nuisance to your husband because he's doing things you don't like.
If there's one thing this whole Simone Biles situation showed us is that there are two types of women in this world. There are women who want to serve her husband, cater to her husband, and play that traditional wife material role. And then there are women who don't want to do none of that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you and your husband love it, I like it. Who am I to say, oh my gosh, that is wrong? But what I've been noticing though, a lot of those women who don't want to play that traditional wifey role will call women who do play those roles a pick-me. And that's the issue there, because Simone Biles played a role of she is going to, for lack of better words, submit in that first interaction and message him first and initiate the conversation. And look how many women are calling her, a pick-me. Now, the issue with that though, a lot of these women expect men to play that traditional leadership protector role, but they don't want to play that catering, serving, submissive.
Yeah, I peep how they was hating on Simone Biles for being so supportive of her man Jonathan Owens. For those that don't know, he's a football player for the Chicago Bears right now. Safety, I think he plays safety. Pretty successful himself, but of course, Simone is a great athlete herself. And there's a couple interviews that he did that she sat in. You know, he was talking about her. I think the subject came up in the interview, and a lot of women didn't like how she was basically giving her man a lot of props, showing interest in him earlier on. But I don't think it was really about her submitting to him when they first met. It was more humility, I think, you know, and showing interest. And really taking advantage of the short window she might have thought she had, right? Because they both athletes, they both be busy. And when you cross paths and you see chemistry, you feel that chemistry, you might want to take advantage. And maybe he wasn't really on that type of timing, but she let it be known, like, hey, she feeling him, right? And a lot of women feel like they're above that, or they scared to do it. You know, whatever reason they don't do it, because really it goes against a lot of what they believe a relationship should be about. They really think it should be revolved around them. And so when they see a woman really showing a guy that they appreciate his value, even though they're accomplished, it drives them nuts. Many women swear because she's a world-class athlete, Olympic athlete, who has conquered the highest of highs in her field, like she makes good money too. Because of that, she should be the prize and always be above her husband. But the bottom line is she went after what she wanted, just like she did everything else, right? That's what made her so successful in the first place. You know what I'm saying? She seized the moment, right? And of course they're going to call her a pick-me, but you see she got picked, right? You see she got picked, that 1% guy that you're chasing. And the ones that are hating on her are the main ones disappointed. They haven't been wiped up yet. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, good people. Thanks again for watching. Like, share, subscribe with us. This is EK, Real Spicy, signing out. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. And like that, be easy. Gone.